Hey everybody, this is Kyle Versport from the BT BOCES Plick team, and today we're going to talk about Pear Deck. You can see on the screen the sections of this video that we'll be going over today. They each have a time next to them, so if you want to jump to a specific section, feel free to scroll to that time, or you can go into the show notes and click the timestamp to jump automatically. Alright, so here's Pear Deck. Alright, so the first thing we need to look at is how to get into Pear Deck or open it in Slides. So this is pretty simple. You just need to get into Slides. This could be a new slide presentation like I have here, or it could be an existing one that you already have. And what you want to go to is Add-ons, and you see here I already have it. But if it's not here, you haven't installed it yet, you just simply go to Get Add-ons. And it's probably going to be the first one. If it doesn't pop up right here, of course, you could click and you can search for it. So just search for Pear Deck, and there it is. You could click it. Here would be a blue button, say install. You do that. You may have to sign in with your account again just by clicking sign in with Google. I already have the extension, so there it is. So finally, once you have that, again, add-ons, you just would click and hit open. It may take a second. It's working, and Pear Deck will launch right here on the side. It's a nice little embedded add-on, and this is where we're going to get all our features from, and this is how we're going to set everything up, all our questions. Alright, so now we're going to look at the type of questions that you can ask on Pear Deck, and we'll start with the open-ended / written response questions. So essentially how any of these work, it's all the same. You just type your question onto your Google Slides like you normally would, and then instead of making the answers on the slide or doing anything else, you will use this sidebar here, and since this is an open-ended, we want a text response. So we'll click text. This will give you a reminder of what it looks like from the student view. It will just take over their screen. You could have this up there when you're in the teacher dashboard. So you could select what's going to be up there. So you want text response, and you just hit update slide. The pair will dance, and it will be updated. So the notes has some stuff written there to cue you to know that this is taken care of. There's also a banner on the bottom that this is now an interactive slide. Multiple choice question, similar process. You'll just hit multiple choice here. True or false. It gives you some images of what it would look like from the student view, and then what you as a teacher could see and put on the projector. Here will be a little different. You'll type your answers in. You could always add more, and then you could hit update slide. So again, we have the banner down here. The question would be here, and you're just typing in the answers. You can also do a numerical question. So this one, student will type in the number, and then the class projection, or what you see as a teacher from the dashboard, will show you where the numbers are, how close they are. So each red dot is essentially where the number pops up on a number line. So those first three, the open response, the multiple choice, and the numerical, are pretty standard questions. The next two are a little more creative and maybe more engaging. So with the drawing questions, you can set it up as a way of students to show their work or to draw or edit a document. You set it up the same way. You click draw, and then again the students will get an image of what the slide is, and they can draw on top of it. So if you leave space for them, they could just show their work if they're showing some math calculations or whatever other steps in their process. If it's a paragraph, they could annotate it here and you would see it. You can look at everyone's work from the dashboard as they're going, and you can also pick some to highlight with the class. And the last one is the draggable. So here you typically have an image. I just threw New York State up there, and with the draggable, similar to the multiple choice, there's a little bit more of a setup. So here you are giving them an item, and they will drag it and place it. So here you can make that a flag or a heart or whatever you want. You can change the color of it. You can change the size of it. And your question would be something like in yellow, identify the capital of New York. And in orange, identify Binghamton. And in green, identify Long Island. Or blue, we can make Buffalo. And you could, again, change the size. So the students on this slide would get to drag the flags and put them in the correct spots. So again, it puts the banner at the bottom to show that you've made this a Pear Deck, an interactive slide. So there are two types of presentation modes on Pear Deck, and to get to either of them, you get there the same way. You just want to hit Start Lesson once your Pear Deck's all set up, and it will bring up the two modes. The first one on the left here is the student-paced activity mode, and the other one is the instructor-paced activity mode. So the student-paced one is one when you would assign it for homework maybe, or a student missed class and they want to go through it on their own. It's when you don't need to be there. The kids will click through slide by slide. They will respond to your questions. They will do the draggables. They will fill in. They will draw whatever the Pear Decks tell them to do. They'll complete that. And then you can monitor this from the dashboard. Or you could look at the results when they're done and go back to see it later if you're not watching it live. The instructor paced is more of your traditional, you're going through a lecture in class. You may narrate a bit, maybe show a video or something, and then you prompt them with a question or a draggable or a drawing, and they will complete it in class, and then you'll review those answers live. So to set up a student-paced activity, you just click over here. It will open up a new tab. So you'll be prompted with some instructions here. You could hit don't show this again, or you could just say got it. It's basically telling you that what you're seeing now on your screen is going to be the teacher dashboard. So you don't display this. It's not your normal slideshow that you will be showing the class, because the kids are using their own device to complete this Pear Deck. So hit got it. You can copy the link, because they still need an access code like any other Pear Deck. So you can copy the link and just email it to them, send it to them, or it's integrated with Google Classroom. So you could click Share to Classroom. You could select the class, go to my demo class, and then you can click an action. You can make it a question, an announcement, material, an assignment, whatever you want to do, and then you would just hit go. Once you hit go, it's posted to the classroom so those students could access it. I'm not going to do that because I don't have students in there, but you get the idea. And then you would just go to the dashboard, and from here you could watch what the students are doing. I'm going to have another section about the dashboard, so we'll hold off on that. Let's just take a look at what it looks like if you do instructor paste. So it still opens up a new window, and this screen is what you would display for the students in class. So you put this up on your Promethean board or your projector, whatever you have. They would use their device to go to joinpd.com. They would type in the code, and then they would start going through it with you. So here the students will join, but you will be advancing the slides on their screen, and they will all be working at your pace. In student mode, they can work at their own pace. So the teacher dashboard is a great tab to have open so you can see it as the teacher, but it's not the one that you want to display for the students. And that's because you can see what each student is writing, so you don't want to display everyone's answers for the whole class to see. It is very useful as the students are working on it. You could see what they're writing, and you can go comment back to them through Pear Deck. You could go talk to them in person if they happen to be in the classroom. But this is what it looks like for the student pace. So I already set up a student pace activity. You can see you have one person. It is a dog. It's anonymous. I don't have any names synced. It's just me here. And I can go and I, as the teacher from the dashboard, I can look at any of the questions, and I can see here that I'm waiting for responses. As a student goes through and types in some answers, and they select things on the multiple choice, and they put their numbers in, whatever the questions are, they're drawing, whatever it is, that's all going on. And then the teacher view, I can go and I can see there is an answer. So here the dog in my class, it's an anonymous animal, said, That is their answer. If I go to the slide 3, the multiple choice question's been answered. Here's a number question, so I can see everything. Here's the drawing. Question 6, still waiting for responses, so it's just a good place to monitor. Looking at this one, you can star an answer if you really like it. You can comment on it if they're not in the class, and you can send your feedback. You can add more feedback if they switch their answer, or oops, I hit caps lock. Great job. And the students will get notified when they have feedback, and they can go and respond to it or change their answer accordingly. You can also hide the response. So sometimes you want to share this screen as you're going over, or you want to highlight some responses like that. All right, and here's the other way to get to the teacher dashboard, and that's if you're doing a live in-class lesson with Pear Deck. So you could put this up on your main screen, you wait for the students to join, and then you hit start class. So this is the screen that would be up on your main projector or your Promethean board, and you could of course click through over here, go question by question. You could wait for the students to answer the questions, then you'd see you get one response of 1. You could show the responses, but again, this is your main screen, so all the students would see it. The benefit of using the teacher dashboard is you have a second screen where you're not interfering with the actual presentation or the content on the main screen for the students in person. So to get that, you just want to hit 3 dots, and you want to open in a new window or maybe a new device. If you have a Chromebook that you walk around the room with or some sort of tablet, for this I'm just going to do a new window because it's on my computer. If you had a second screen, you could of course drag this to the second screen so the students don't see it. I'll go full screen so we can see. And it looks just like the teacher dashboard did before. So I'm on question 2. I could see all of the answers. Again, this little window here is only for me to see as the teacher. Students don't see it. So I could star an answer. I can again comment back some feedback if I don't want to walk over to the kid in person, or maybe I'm hybrid. You could do things like that. And then you could also lock the screens from here so the students won't be able to type anymore, and you can hit show responses. And that should show the responses on the main board. You see now it's just the responses there. Things like that. If I want from the teacher dashboard, looking ahead and maybe I want to just jump to this question, I can jump to it, and that would automatically control the Pear Deck going on. Notice the one right over here. This is what the students will see in class on the main screen. So you can control it from here. You can always add a new prompt as well. This is nice. Maybe you want to get a sense of how they're doing. So it's like, oh, that seemed a little tough. Tell me how you feel about the concept we just talked about. And the kids can move and select where they are, and it will appear here. So you know, should I go on? Should I go back? So those are some of the features of the teacher dashboard. It takes a little getting used to, running 2 different screens, a projected screen and then one on a Chromebook or something. But you'll get used to it. And it helps the lesson flow much better. When you're done, of course, you could hit end the session or just click end here. You may want to name it. We'll go with sample Pear Deck. Then you could save. And then from here, you can go to reflect and review. So most of the value you'll find in Pear Deck will probably be what you get out of it during class when you're live, but that doesn't mean that's where all the information and data will come from. So of course, as you go through the live lesson, you'll see what percentage of kids are answering that question correctly, how many kids did the drawing correctly, how many people were able to slide their draggables to the right spot. So you have all that instant feedback. You can poll the kids. Are they comfortable? Are they not? But you may also at times want to access the data later, especially if the students aren't completing it live in class. And maybe it's a homework assignment, or maybe a student was out, maybe quarantined, and they're trying to catch up. So you want to go and look back at how they did. or maybe you want to look back months later for this data. Anyway, to get that data, you can just go to the Pear Deck website. I've logged in already. And you go to sessions, and they're all sorted here by date. Also, if you name them, if they're live, if they're closed, if they're open for student paste. For example, this one's open for student paste. We could also be like, oh, oops, and we could turn the student paste off, and now it should go to live, or you could end the session, and now it's closed. But to look at the data, you would just hit these 3 dots for more actions, and you want to go to reflect and review. At the end of each presentation, you could hit the open, reflect, and review and go there right away. But this is just how you get there later. So not much info, but you want to click here, and it will give you the student in the class. So I signed in with my name, and then we had 2 anonymous people, the hippo and the red panda, and you could look at their results. So if you want to go back to a specific student's results, this is how you do it. If you're curious going back later, if it was a homework thing and you want to take a look at it, this is how you get back to it. You could peruse. You could also switch the students up. If you want to just go question by question, we're looking here. Red panda, that's where they put the flags. Hippo, they didn't do it. Kyle, that's where he put the flags. If you want to grade a specific one, maybe one was more important than the others, and you said, oh, I'm going to look at your work for this one, guys. After class, make sure you do this one. And then you click through. How did Hippo? Oh, Hippo missed it. Red panda. Okay, they did some stuff. Things like that. You can also copy the student link, and you could send this back via Google Classroom, via email, however you want. You can put it in the chat in a Google Meet or something, a Zoom, and that would allow the students access to their results. Now, they would only see their results. They wouldn't see the whole classes. All right, well, thanks for watching. I hope you learned a thing or two about Pear Deck watching this video here. If you want to see Pear Deck live in action in a classroom and hear a teacher's perspective on how she uses it to increase engagement, check out this video here. If you like this video and you want to see more, feel free to hit that subscribe button right there. All right, everybody, have a great day. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email or leave a comment on this video. Thank you.